Hey, so today is a huge, huge energy day. We actually started to begin to feel it yesterday afternoon, right? We're feeling an accumulation of many, many different things, but I think what's fueling it the most right now is the full moon energy. This is a super full moon that we're coming into tonight or this afternoon. I think it's at 4:28 Eastern Standard Time will be its peak of energy. But it's a doozy. It is a doozy. And Spirit's just telling me that there's a whole mixed bag of energy that's in here. They're talking about collective energy. They're talking about an excess of pathogenic energy. So, this full moon energies activate things, right? It's like a giant beam of light that is literally showing you all of the things in your life that need to be healed, that need to be reasoned with, that need to be given compassion, that need to be shifted. So all of this stuff is coming up, like it's literally bubbling up inside you. And your physical body is probably going to be feeling a lot. I know that I started yesterday afternoon with a migraine and it just kind of went through the night and I woke up with a doozy of a migraine. Like it's just, all of my cranial nerves are not happy. My vagus nerves are not happy. And part of that is the physical, right? We have to acknowledge the physical. So the pathogens are always irritated by the full moon energy, right? The parasites, the viruses, the bacteria, they do not like the full moon energy. They like to live in the dark and stay in the dark. And then we can also then use that to go into like the reflection of our emotions, right? So if we look at our ego and our pain body, the aspects of our human avatar, they love the fuel of the frequency and the fuel of fear. That's their communication. That's their go-to. That's, their junk food. That's what they love. And we all carry fear. I don't care who you are and how, ascended you are. We all carry fear on this planet. Everybody does. And if you are somebody who is an empath or an energy sensitive, you're feeling everybody else's fear too. So you're feeling a lot of collective fear. And I know for me, it was a pretty good week. I thought it was a pretty good week energetically. We had really quiet, geomagnetic storm weather. The Schumann's really quiet. I think we had 1 day of active energy. And again, we're on day 3 of quiet. Everything's quiet. And it's funny because it's in those quiet days where they kind of, all the distractions are taken away and you're kind of just left with yourself. And so when you are left with yourself, it really kind of gives you the opportunity to, explore yourself, self-discovery, right? Through your emotions, through your thoughts, get to know what kind of, program you've been running, what kind of reality you've been creating. And sometimes when we have that time, we don't like what we're seeing, right? It doesn't feel good. And when I was asking Spirit, today, what is this? It's like a funk energy. It really is. It's like a hard to find that light, hard to find the gratitude, hard to find. It comes in moments, but a moment's hard to find it. And so Spirit said that they're calling it out of alignment. And so it's really kind of they're saying there's this other version of us. There's this other version of us that is already awakened, already enlightened, already ascended, already that version of us exists. And it's the version now, the ones that are here, that you're watching this with, that you're seeing here, we are out of alignment with that, with our higher selves, out of alignment with that version of who we are. And that's making us feel that, disconnect, that ungrounded, that unsure, the, lack of confidence, the lack of drive, lack of motivation, all of that, because in order to be able to feel inspired, we need to be in our full power. So we need to be in alignment fully with our higher selves. When we are doing the work, when we're digging, Spirit's just showing me, because our soul aspect leaves the physical body lots, right? It leaves it in the dream state. It leaves it when things get rough. It leaves. It goes because it saves itself. That's why our souls are eternal. They don't stick around and wait for the building to blow up. They leave before it happens. So we're seeing this, like, when we're in these darker spots where we're doing the work, like we're supposed to be doing the work, right? Clearing the shadows, healing the wounds, releasing the trauma, right? Raising the frequency, letting go of the density. When we're doing that work, our soul does step out at times through that. And it's interesting that happens because Spirit's just saying timing is everything. I feel like sometimes some of us just need that complete alone time to be able to know what is what, if that makes sense. So that we are not having any spiritual bypassing. We're not having any light and love and it's all wonderful and everything's great. We are actually we're being forced to look at the density, understand the density, feel the density, work through the density, right? And the truth is, the more you're feeling this stuff, like the more, especially on a full moon day like this, the more you're feeling the physical stuff, the emotional stuff, it just means that there's more stuff to clean. There's more stuff to work on. The load needs to get lighter, right? There needs to be a lightening of the load. And how do we do that? It's going to be individual for everybody. It really is, because it depends on how deep you're willing to go, how raw you're willing to be. But allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling is the first thing. Validating it and not getting frustrated with it, not getting angry with it. I'm working on this today because I hate migraines. Like, I just hate them because especially the vestibular migraines with the dizziness, the vertigo, they take you out. They stop you in your tracks. And it's frustrating because I've been doing a million things to heal this, and it shows up on these flares like this. And so I really have to work with that compassion for myself, because here's where all like the negative thinking comes in, right? I'm hearing all of the negative things that people have said, all of the doubts come, all of the garbage, right? I mean, if I do myself a big favor, I just stay in meditation all day. I just run my AO frequencies for migraines, for healing, and I just stay out of my mind all day, because my mind is going to continue to generate these thoughts, which are going to then generate these emotions. That's going to create my experience. And I already know how that story goes, and I'm not interested in watching it or experiencing it. I'm ready to just release, let go, surrender, allow. I'm ready to do that. I just have to get my mind in alignment with that. It's interesting because November for me, and maybe let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, because we all have months on the, in the year where they're specifically supercharged for us. And November happens to be one of them for me, where in my career, I tend to take on a new partnership. I tend to make a shift or a change in my business. It's in every time that I have done something like that, it's been in November. And every single time it happens, there's always been red flags. I mean, I look back at it in the moment of it, I completely dismiss the red flags and just move forward and go ahead with it. But yeah, but then I can later look back and go, yeah, you know what? I saw those red flags. I saw them at the beginning, at the start of it, and I just dismissed them and pushed forward because I was looking far ahead at where I wanted to be, what I wanted the end to be. So really pay attention if that's coming back around for you, because it's, you know how in Facebook our memories show up. And so I had, from 12 years ago and 9 years ago, the same thing happened. And then I feel like I'm going into that cycle again. So that's opportunity for us, right? It's like we go back, okay, so what did I learn from those experiences? Where did it go, in the wrong direction? And how do I change that? Spirit's just saying the hardest thing sometimes is to do something differently, right? That's the hardest thing. And for me, and you might not be like this because not everybody is, if you're an Aries, you might be like this. If you're a March Aries, not an April Aries. But it's like I'm an all or nothing. So if I'm going to fix something, I'm just doing it. I'm going to do the opposite of what I have been doing. I'm all in. I'm not saying this is the best way to do things, but sometimes you really need that significant change. Like you need to be like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing the opposite of what that is because I want the opposite experience. So feel into that and feel into if that's like, what's the opposite? Like where you understand, like, where's all the garbage? Like where all the garbage showing up in your life, the stuff that doesn't feel good, the stuff that's knocking you out of alignment. What's the opposite of those? Just do yourself, make a list today. Go through your list because it's full moon, purging, releasing, letting go. Put it down on paper. I'm going to do it as soon as I get off this video. Write a list, all the stuff that's not working for you, that doesn't feel in a vibrational alignment with you, that doesn't put you into alignment with your higher self. What's on that list? And then on your other list, bring in the opposite, just so you can see it. Like, what's the opposite of that? And maybe I can meet it in the middle, or maybe I'm like ready to do the opposite of it, right? I'm going to do this as soon as I get off. I'm going to let us know in the comments. If you do it, let us know how things start to shift and change for you. And I'm sending you guys blessings. Let's send each other blessings today, please, because this is going to be a rough day energetically, and we need all the support we can get. Sending you guys huge blessings.